Hello and welcome to another episode of What to Know. What to Know is a program to raise awareness, to inform, and to educate immigrants and refugees so they can well integrate their host community. Today, we are going to talk about taxes or filing taxes. My name is Amavi Gamon.
Mi nombre es Amavi. Bienvenidos al programa que a saber vamos a informarles. Ahora vamos a hablar acerca de cómo preparar tus taxes.
Today, I'm joined by two gentlemen.
Ahora vamos con la compañía de estos dos hombres,
William Soglo
William Soglo
and George Tunu.
and Yogo Chu.
William Soglo is CPA
William is CPA.
and George Tunu is tax preparer.
William prepara los taxes.
William and George, thank you very much for coming. William, can you please tell us a little bit about what you do?
Thank you for
William, ¿nos puedes decir qué es lo que haces?
thank you for the opportunity to
Gracias por la
be here.
oportunidad de estar aquí.
As a CPA, you do accounting and taxes.
Soy contador público acerca de los taxes.
So we do file taxes for people,
Llenamos las taxas para la gente.
and we also do accounting for small businesses.
También llevamos la continuidad de negocios pequeños.
That's the main thing we do in our side.
Es la cosa más importante que hacemos por nuestro lado.
Thank you very much, William.
you.
So William is an accountant and he does a lot of stuff about accountancy.
William es un contador público y hace muchas cosas acerca de la contabilidad.
Now let us turn to George.
Ahora vamos a presentar a yo.
George, can you please tell us about a little bit about what you do?
¿Nos puedes decir qué es lo que tú haces?
Thank you for having me here.
Gracias por permitirme estar aquí.
I usually assist my wife, who own a new image business on the urban of the cities.
Yo asisto a mi esposa que trabaja en una cosa de contabilidad.
Where she specialized in preparing taxes,
Ella está especializada en preparar las taxas.
where also she does assist with immigration documents,
También ella prepara papeles de migración
and also where we do translations
y también hacemos
from
documentos
French to English
de traslado de inglés a francés
and from English to French.
o francés to inglés.
Wow, thank you so much, George. So you guys do a lot of translation, immigration, taxes. Thank you very much.
Ustedes hacen muchas cosas como trasladar, llenan las taxas, llevan cosas de contabilidad.
As you can see today, we are going to talk about taxes.
Como ustedes lo ven, vamos a hablar acerca de las taxas.
When you come to United States, especially at the end of the year or beginning of the year,
Cuando vienen a los Estados Unidos, especialmente al final del año,
you will hear many people talking about taxes. Did you do your taxes? I'm going to do my taxes.
escuchan a mucha gente hablar de las tasas. Ya prepararse tus tasas, cuándo lo vas a preparar.
So what exactly this is about?
¿Qué es lo que las taxas significan?
William, can you please tell us what this means, taxes or filing taxes?
¿Nos puedes decir qué son las tasas o qué llenan los papeles de las tasas?
Okay. As we all know, government live by taxes, finances projects,
El gobierno
road,
vive de las tasas para hacer cosas,
waters,
financiar cosas públicas.
by collecting taxes.
De esa forma colectan dinero para hacer
So in the U.S., the taxes is backed by the 16th Amendment of the Constitution that allow federal government to collect tax on revenue earned by individuals, corporation,
Como ustedes ven, las taxas es una ley que está en la Constitución que de esa forma permite que el gobierno adquiera dinero de la gente para las obras públicas.
So we can have safe roads, we can have safe air traffics,
De
we
esa
can
forma
have
podamos tener una vida segura en Estados Unidos,
safe water to drink.
el agua para tomar segura.
So that's how taxes come up.
De esa forma tenemos una cosa segura.
The history of taxes in the United States begins by the civil wars. They need money to finance war. So they impose taxes to anybody who is in the U.S. So that's how that's
Sí, las tasas
begins.
empezó antes de la guerra civil. De esa forma adquieren dinero para hacer obras públicas.
Thank you so much, William. So
Gracias.
you're saying taxes is money government collects from people
Yes.
living in the country,
Como ustedes
So-
ven, las tasas es dinero que colectan, dinero para la gente.
so they can afford public expenses
De esa forma pueden enfrentar los gastos públicos
like making the road or fixing them,
para arreglar las
water
carreteras,
and other stuff.
el agua y muchas cosas.
Thank you so much for your
Gracias.
answer. George, I know. Right now, people are starting talking about filing taxes. So what is filing taxes?
Ahora la gente empieza a hablar acerca de las tasas. ¿Qué es llenar unas tasas?
That's a good question.
Una pregunta.
Before I respond to that, I'm going to go back a little in history.
Voy a retrasarme para atrás un poco.
That although in 1861,
En 1862,
Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War
con el presidente Abraham Lincoln
asked that people started paying taxes, that rules has been challenged
fue cuando la gente empezó a pagar
before the
taxas,
Supreme Court,
pero las cosas han cambiado después de la Corte Suprema.
and the Supreme Court declared that unconstitutional.
La guerra declaró que es constitucional.
And like Brother William said, it took the country until 1913
Yeah.
to actually to have the progressive taxes under which we are living now.
So, eso nos tomó tiempo para progresar y
They
poner la ley
use-
de las taxas.
The use of the expression taxes can be vague.
La
And,
expresión de las tasas es,
and I believe the
es de mucho
conversation that we are trying to have today is to focus specifically on income taxes.
Yes.
como ven ahora,
Because
nos
when we
vamos
start talking about taxes, we can
Nos
talk
vamos
about property taxes,
a sentar
you
en
know,
las
taxes
las-
that we
cómo
pay
preparar
when we
las
pay.
taxas
So we want to focus the conversation on
Income tax.
income taxes,
Exactly.
de las tasas de nuestro dinero
which
de la-
means that at the end of the year,
Eso significa lo que ganamos en todo el año.
a worker, whether you work for somebody for wages or whether you are self-employed,
Ya sea que trabajes por tu cuenta o trabajes por otra persona,
after your 12 months,
después de 12 meses,
you have to declare to the government how much money you made,
tienes que declararle al
Yes.
gobierno cuánto ganaste,
how much taxes you pay,
cuánto pagaste en las taxas,
how much you have contributed to Social Security and Medicare.
cuánto contribuiste a tu seguro social, a tu Medicare, medical.
And when we are talking about taxes, we have to understand that you have to pay the federal taxes and you have to pay the state taxes.
Como ven,
Depending on where you are
tenemos
living.
que pagar taxas para el federal y tasas para el gobierno.
So that's overall the obligation imposed on individual at the end of the year.
Es una obligación que está impuesta en la Constitución para toda la gente al final de año.
Thank you very much, George.
Gracias, muchas
Yeah.
gracias.
So, as you said, I heard that before the government took even much more money than they take in today. Like, so can you talk to us about a little bit about this? Because you said when you working, because today we are talking about income taxes. So
Ahora
when you
vamos a hablar acerca del dinero que ganamos del año.
when you're working, whether you are a self-employee or you're working for a company,
Ya
you
sé
have to
Que
pay
trabajas-
taxes, report your income, and pay taxes.
Ya sé que trabajas por una compañía o trabajas por tu cuenta.
So how this is paid and how much the government take out of our earning.
How much el gobierno nos quita de ese dinero?
It all depends.
Esto depende.
And whether you are single, whether you are married,
Depende que
whether
estás,
you have a
si
house,
estás
it
soltero,
depends.
casado.
But taxes have brackets depending on how much you are making.
So, las tasas depende de tu estado civil
The more you make,
y de cuánto haces.
the more you pay.
Entre más
And that's
ganes,
from the federal level.
entre más haces, más tienes que pagar. Esto es
On the state level,
en la ley federal.
specifically
Para
in
el estado.
Illinois, for example, we only have a flat tax rate,
Para el estado tenemos una
which is 4.95%
la misma cantidad todo el tiempo.
of whatever income you make. Whether you make 10,000 or 100,000, your flat tax rate is
Si tú haces 100,000 o tienes 10,000,
for Illinois.
tienes la misma cantidad todo el tiempo.
For Iowa, they have a bracket. They created a bracket under the tax law that they passed, I believe, a couple of years
Para
ago,
en Iowa es diferente.
where they have 3 different brackets. And I'm just going to focus on the last one.
Son un poco, la ley es un poco
In
diferente.
Iowa, for example, if you are making more than $75,000,
En Iowa, si haces más de 75
then you'll
dólares,
pay a flat tax rate of 6%.
vas a pagar una cantidad todo el tiempo
But that
o el
law,
6%.
the way that law works is, I think by 2026, the high income earners in Iowa will be paying like a flat rate of 3.9%.
So, allí tienen una cantidad todo el tiempo la misma.
That's briefly how that works on the state level.
Es como trabaja el Estado.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your answer. So I'm gonna turn to William. So what's every year people run to you guys to file taxes and pay that money to government, or how can you please talk to us about this, what we do at the end of the year or beginning of the year, what we called filing taxes. When somebody just came to United States and they hear that word filing taxes, can you explain to us a little bit about it?
¿Nos puedes explicar qué significa llenar las taxas?
Like George said before,
Como dice George,
when you make money
cuando haces dinero,
or you earn income,
tu dinero que ganaste,
you have obligation to file your taxes
tienes una
by
obligación de llenar tus taxas
April 15 of every year
antes del abril 15.
for individuals and March 15 for some companies
Para algunas compañías es
and
mayo
May
15,
15 for some other organizations.
abril 15 para otras organizaciones.
So it's an obligation for individual to file their taxes,
Es una
not
obligación.
because the government doesn't know how much you make. They already know,
Es una obligación porque el gobierno ya sabe cuánto hiciste.
but they want to make sure that's correct.
Ellos solo quieren saber que tú estás reportando la cantidad porque ellos ya saben cuánto hiciste.
It's our obligation to tell them how much we make.
Es una
They're
obligación
going
de
to compare
nosotros.
that to what they have. And if they take too much tax from you, they return the rest or whatever they take too much.
Es una obligación que reportes la cantidad exacta porque
That's
ellos
what we
ya
call
saben.
refund.
Y si ellos te han quitado más de lo que deberían, te lo regresan para
If
atrás.
they didn't take much from your paycheck, then you pay. That's
Si por una razón no te quitaron lo suficiente,
why
ellos te lo quitan para atrás.
why do you do that? Status change. You can change your status during the year.
Porque
So you can be
tu estado civil
single
cambia durante el año.
at the beginning of the years, and then by December you marry. So
Porque, por ejemplo,
your
puedes estar
status
soltero
change.
a principios del año y casado a final del año.
You can be married January, you don't have a key.
Por ejemplo,
Then
en enero
during the year,
no tienes dependientes
You have a key.
y en
So-
diciembre ya tienes dependientes.
Your status change, or you have a dependent now.
Tu estado civil cambia
You
durante el
need
año.
to send your taxes, you know. So different situations will arise during the year. That's why they want to know if your status change or your status didn't change.
Sí, porque tu estado civil cambia y ellos quieren saber que estás reportando como lo que
So
debe de ser.
it's in our interest to file taxes.
So, llenar las tasas es en nuestro propio interés.
Thank you
Yeah.
for the answer.
Gracias.
So the government is already taking this money out of our paycheck.
El gobierno ya nos está quitando el dinero de nuestros cheques.
So what we do at the beginning of the year is kind of adjustments to make sure the government took the right amount or to make sure we pay the right amount of taxes.
So, al final del año, con lo que reportamos, quieren estar seguros si fue exactamente la cantidad que nos debieron de quitar. Ellos hacen un ajuste si te sobró o te faltó.
So,
And you can say it this way.
okay.
You know, sometimes people
¿Lo
will
podemos decir de este modo?
declare dependent they don't have.
Por
Okay,
ejemplo, las
yeah.
personas ponen un
So-
dependiente que no lo tienen.
On your W4,
En
for
la
example,
W2,
when we go to work, they give us W4 and they ask you how many dependents do you have.
en la W te preguntan
I
cuántos
have-
dependes tienes.
I have a case of someone who wrote like 6 dependents.
Hay personas que ponen
Wow.
So
6
when
dependientes.
you have 6 dependents, they will take a little bit of just a bit of taxes.
Cuando
So
tienes dependes, te quitan más
at the
poquito.
end of the year, this person don't have any dependent.
Pero al
Oh.
final del año no tuviste esas 6
So when
dependes.
he send his taxes, then the government say, okay, you say you have 6 kids,
So, por ejemplo,
But now you don't have
dijiste que
a
tenías
kid.
6 dependientes
so
y al final no
we
los
didn't
tienes.
take much from a paycheck.
No te quitaron mucho en tu cheque
Give us
porque tenías
back
6
all
dependientes.
those money.
So, danos ese dinero para atrás.
So that's allow the government to catch all those who are cheaters.
Es una forma de obtener una información correcta, el gobierno obtener una información correcta si de veras tienes los dependientes o no los tienes.
That's another way to see it.
Yeah.
Es de una forma que tú lo tienes que ver.
Thank you for the explanation. So, filing taxes, it's a way governments are used to make sure that they take the right
The right
taxes from us.
Yes.
So if they figure out that they took too much, they give us a refund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hacer las tasas es una forma de que el gobierno se asegura que te quitaron la cantidad correcta durante el año y para que no hagas trampa. O sea,
So, brother George said something, bracket.
Mm.
Right, yeah.
It's a bracket.
Yeah.
That's all about bracket.
son ajustes que
So
se
like I
hacen.
said before, if you were single, your bracket is different.
Por
Now
ejemplo,
your
si-
status
si-
change
si-
during the year.
Si
Your
estás
bracket might change also.
soltero, luego te
So that's
casas,
how
cambia,
You play. They have
tú
to
tienes más
know
dependientes, es como va jugando
which
las
bracket
cosas
you're in to adjust your taxes.
para ajustar el dinero que te ha quitado durante el año.
Same thing if you divorce.
Por
So you were
ejemplo,
married at the beginning, you filed
por ejemplo,
as
si estabas
married.
casado al principio,
Your
te divorciaste al
your
final,
W2, W4 is married jointly. Now you divorce.
so ahora estás
you are not
divorciado,
married anymore.
ya no estás
So
casado
your
nomás,
taxes go up.
tus
Because
taxas
you're
van
going
a
to file
subir.
separate. You know. So
Cada quien lo va a hacer sus taxas diferente aparte.
it take you to another bracket.
Eso te lleva a otro.
So situation arise during there. So government want to see which one you in now.
Ellos quieren ver cuál es tu estado civil y si estás reportando la verdad.
Thank you for the explanation.
Gracias.
So in the same terms, when the government find out that they didn't take much from you, you will owe government. You will pay them back.
So, when el gobierno se da cuenta que no te quitó lo que debería de quitarte, tú tienes que pagarles para atrás.
Now let me turn to George. George, can you please tell us from what amount you can file taxes?
¿Nos puedes
Because
decir cuál es la cantidad que debemos reportar las taxas?
some people maybe they don't work much in the year and they will wonder, can I file taxes? Do I have? So from what amount governments want us to take money from us to take care of the country?
Por ejemplo, mucha gente no hace mucho dinero y
Again,
se pregunta,
even for
¿debo de
that also, it
llenar las
depends on your
tasas?
status and your ages.
Eso depende de tu estado civil y tu
And I'm
edad.
just going to focus on, one status. If you are single
Tienes que poner tu estado
and
civil
you are less than 65 years old,
en menor de
they
60
say
años
if you make
y hiciste
12,950,
como
you should file
12,500,
taxes.
tienes que llenar las taxas.
If you are
12,000?
12,950.
12,000,
If you are over 65 years old,
si estás mayor de 65
I believe it is 14,700.
y hiciste más de 14,000, tienes
So
que
it all
llenar-
depends.
llenar tus
That's
taxas.
when you are working for someone, right?
Okay.
Es cuando
We
trabajas para alguien
preparers
más.
always recommend for people, even if you don't make that, to file taxes anyway, because that's the right thing to do. But if you are not working for someone, because I touched on something at the beginning, if you are self-employed, you are working for
Si eres un
yourself.
empleado,
Yes.
tu propio empleado, tu propio
You make
hogar,
$400, you should file taxes. So
si
that's
hiciste
the way it
$400,
works.
tú tienes que
400?
llenar las
400,
taxas.
yeah.
Wow.
Solo $400 tú tienes que llenar las taxas.
Yeah, you
Beautiful
work,
to hear.
work for yourself, you do DoorDash, you do all those things, you make 400, you should file taxes.
Si
Oh.
haces 400, arriba de 400,
That's the basic rule.
tú ya tienes que llenar las taxas.
So, sometimes people complain about they owe government a lot of money, or they have problem with their taxes. Or William, can you please tell us what are the dues in this moment of filing taxes, what we should do?
Mucha gente se queja acerca de las tasas. ¿Nos puede decir qué podemos hacer en este momento?
That's simple.
Es very simple.
The do is file your taxes on time.
Very simple,
No.
muy simple. Haz
Never
tus tasas a tiempo.
underestimate your income.
No pongas que hiciste menos.
Like I said before, they already know how much you make.
Ellos ya saben cuánto
So
hiciste.
it doesn't help you to underestimate your income. Don't forget any income you make.
No
during the
tienes
year.
que contar mentiras que no hiciste menos, porque
It
ellos
just
ya
gonna-
saben cuánto hiciste.
It's just going to trigger, they're going to look at your income, and if you underestimate your income,
Si tú pones cosas, ellos te pueden ponerse como una investigación en ti. Si
they're going to penalize you.
te van a dar un fine por
So
que
that's
estás
one thing
mintiendo.
you don't want to do. Just take your income and file taxes for your income, the real income.
So, cuando hagas sus taxes, pon realmente lo que ganaste.
Don't be late
No estés tarde,
filing your taxes, because if you're late,
porque si
there's a
estás tarde,
penalty for late filing.
te dan tienes que pagar un dinero, porque,
And if you
intereses.
owe taxes, you pay interest.
Porque
on
si
the
tú
money
debes
you
taxes
owe.
al gobierno, tú tienes que pagarle interés.
So that's free money you're giving them.
Es dinero que tú les estás dando a ellos.
Instead of filing on before April 15, you decide you can file for extension. If you can't file on April 15, just ask for extension.
Si tú no puedes preparar
So,
sus taxes
that way
antes
you
de
have
abril
The
15,
time
puedes pedir que te den una
to
extensión.
file, so you don't get penalized
So,
or
de esa forma no te cobran intereses y no te
For not
dan una
filing on
multa.
you know. So
Yeah.
that's the do. Just file on time. File with accurate income you earn. Don't let aside your income be true, and you're
Haz tus
okay.
tasas a tiempo, pon la cantidad que ganaste y de esa forma no te metes en problemas.
Wow. So we need to report our income, we need to file taxes, and do it on time.
Tenemos que reportar las taxas y exactamente la cantidad que ganamos y hacerlo a tiempo.
And if we owe the government, we need to pay them back.
Si salimos debiendo al gobierno, tenemos que pagarle para atrás.
So I want to say this also. When you go to your tax preparer, it's like when you go to your doctor.
Cuando tú vas a
Don't
la
hide
persona que te va a
anything
llenar
from
tus
them.
taxas, es como
Mm.
si vas con el doctor, no tienes que
Ah,
mentirle las
People
cosas.
who hide things, then after you find out, oh, okay, we let out something we don't have,
Unas personas
something we
mienten y no
receive,
reportan todo, pero el gobierno ya sabe
and
las
then
cosas.
you gotta go back.
Entonces
Just tell
tienen que regresar y
your
volver a
tax
hacerlo otra
preparer
vez.
everything. It's like you go to your doctor. When you hide things, it's not on your interest to hide things from your tax preparer.
Por eso cuando vas a la persona que te va a hacer las taxas, es como si fueras al doctor, tienes que decirle toda la verdad.
So in filing taxes, we need to be truthful about
Be
everything.
open.
Be open and be truthful. So
Llenando las taxas tenemos que ser
we won't have problem with
Yes.
government.
decir la verdad,
And
decir la verdad al
IRS.
gobierno.
Because taxes is more to do with IRS, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the don'ts? We know earlier we talked about status. Some they are married couple and single.
Ya hablamos de
So
los estados civiles.
what advice do you think what are the don'ts about taxes?
¿Qué es lo que no debemos hacer acerca de las taxas?
I think Brother William already touched on a couple of them.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
No mentir.
So don't lie. Do you hear that? Tell the truth to your tax preparer. That's very important
No mentirle a la
and very
persona
good for yourself.
que te va a hacer, preparar
That's
las
the
taxas.
basic foundation. Don't lie.
Es la base, no mentir.
Because the consequences of lying are huge.
Porque las consecuencias de mentir es una pena. Una pena
And
de-
we see that every single day.
Yeah.
y eso lo vemos todos los días.
So Brother William talked about like being truthful, like when you go see a doctor. When we
Como
go to a
nos
doctor
dijo William, es como ir al doctor
and you are having a headache,
y tú tienes que decir al doctor todo lo que
you don't say
pasó.
that you are having a stomachache.
No, si tienes un dolor de cabeza, no le vas a decir que te duele el
So
estómago.
when you go to your tax preparer,
Cuando vas a preparar a la persona que te va a preparar las taxas,
make sure that you are truthful.
estás segura de ser sincero y decir la verdad.
And please listen to their advice.
Y también adquiere los consejos que ellos te dan.
And tax preparer also have an obligation to be honest with people.
Y las
Yes.
personas que preparan las taxas también tienen que ser honestas con la gente.
They should not be including things in people's taxes
Ellos saben lo que debes de incluir en
that
preparar las
might get them in trouble in the future.
porque de otra forma hasta ellos se pueden ver en problemas.
So while we are talking about the don'ts,
Cuando hablamos, ¿qué es lo que no debemos de hacer?
from a worker perspective who come to the tax preparer, there is a don't also an obligation or you as a tax preparer
Es una obligación también como
not to include in people's taxes things that can get them in trouble.
Los que preparan las tasas tienen la obligación de ayudarte,
Because
porque
so many
ellos también
times,
se pueden ver en problemas si te ayudan a mentir.
Brother William, I'm sure he saw that, where people will come to you when they receive a letter from the IRS.
Es como lo dice William,
They
como,
didn't file taxes with you, but they received a letter
personas que no llenan sus tasas, pero
from the IRS asking them to justify
luego reciben una carta del IRS
some of the
diciendo
declaration that they have on their taxes.
que tienes que declarar la verdad o tienes que decir tus cosas.
Usually we see that when, and I'm just going to give a basic example. Brother William talked about somebody who made, $70,000.
Es como dice William, alguien hizo 70,000
But when
dólares
he filled out his W-4 at work, he said that he has 6 dependents. Right?
y cuando haces tus tasas,
So he paid little taxes.
cuando en el trabajo reportas
At the end of the year,
dependientes,
when
no
he goes to
tienes.
his tax preparer,
Al final del año tienes que probar que tienes esos
tax
dependientes.
preparer knowing through the calculation that this person is going to pay the government,
So, etiquetar un poquito durante el año porque tienes
they
muchos
will tell
dependientes.
that person, I'm going to help you.
Entonces, esa persona que te preparó las tasas hace una cuenta que
And what
te
they do is
quitaron un poquito y que tú tienes que pagarles para atrás.
they will include something that we call a Schedule C, which is a self-employed form
Eso también es una forma de cuando eres
That
empleado por tu
indicate
cuenta
that you own a business yourself
o cuando tienes un negocio
and that business has lost money.
Mm.
And the reason why they do that, they say the business lost money. They can say that business lost $15,000. Just an example.
es, por ejemplo, cuando tienes un negocio y estás reportando que perdiste
They
dinero.
use that foundation to reduce the amount of taxes that you are going to
De
owe the
esa forma,
government
tú reportas que,
because you didn't pay enough taxes.
que tuviste pérdida en el negocio y de esa forma pues pagas poquito dinero.
So now when the government send you a letter to justify that income or that loss, you don't have a receipt.
Cuando el
You
gobierno
don't
te
have
pide
anything.
pruebas de que
Wow.
tuviste
people start
pérdidas
panicking.
en tu negocio y tú no tienes pruebas, ¿cómo comprobar que tu negocio se fue al de la quiebra?
So we have an obligation also to be honest.
Tenemos
people.
una obligación de ser honestos.
And I know so many times I've seen my wife where people decided to leave or she will turn people away just because she said, I'm not going to do this
Mhm.
to get myself in trouble and get you in trouble.
Por ejemplo, él dice que él ve a su esposa que hay personas que quieren que les ayude y ella dice, no, yo no te puedo ayudar a mentir porque yo me puedo ver en problemas.
It makes you lose customers,
Y de esa forma pues, te hace que pierdas
Wow.
clientes.
but it saves you in the long run.
Yes.
Pero a la larga, pues, ¿estás haciendo lo correcto?
So that's what I will share about the don't about taxes on both sides.
So, una persona que prepara taxes no te puede ayudar a mentir.
Wow. So that is very important to be truthful.
Es por eso bien importante que seas honesto.
Hmm.
And I want to explain something here.
Quiero explicar
if
algo.
To allow me.
Yeah.
People think government have reserve for money that they give away when you file your taxes. It's not. It's not. It's not.
¿Tú piensas que
Sometimes
que te van-
customer put pressure on tax preparer to have more money.
algunas personas presionan a las personas que hacen
There's
las
no
taxas
money anywhere the government will give you except your own money.
para que te regresen más dinero?
So whatever they taking out of your paycheck, if at the end of the year they figure out that we take too much, that's when you have refund.
Es,
That's
por
your
ejemplo,
own money.
lo que te quitaron cada año. Si te quitaron mucho, te lo van a regresar para atrás. Si te quitaron poquito,
The
ellos
IRS
te
don't go
te van
to
a regresar dinero.
a special money reserve somewhere and pick and give you. That's your own money. They're returning to you.
So, no pienses que te están regalando el dinero,
So-
es tu dinero.
We want to let our customer knows that that's the way it works. It's not because someone may not do your tax very good, maybe, but most of the time, tax people are accurate, they are honest. So if you want to get out of trouble, please, no pressure of tax preparer. Be truthful.
So,
You
cuando
know,
la persona te está preparando las
Last year,
taxas,
client
no lo presiones para que te den más dinero porque ellos tienen que seguir la ley.
who came to me, I did his tax, and the money she received is not the same she received before.
Por ejemplo, una persona que hizo sus taxas y el dinero que recibió,
No, I got this much last year.
él quería recibir lo
But
mismo del
this
año
year I
pasado.
didn't get any money. Then I said, okay, do you have last year taxes? She said, yeah. So I got her 1040s. And I look at the 1040s and I got Schedule C, like Brother George said. And then the Schedule C, she got her losses for 10,000 something. Then I asked her, do you have business? I said, no. I said, okay, do you know why you have that money? I said, no, because they create business for you. And she's like, wow. I
Sí,
didn't
como una
even know.
persona que estaba reportando sus
So
taxes y
things happen all the
estaba
time.
reportando una pérdida de $10,000. Entonces él quería el mismo dinero del año
And the
pasado.
preparator is putting individual into trouble.
Entonces él le dijo, no, pues tienes que tener
Because
la
she
prueba
don't have any
de la
receipt
pérdida que
to
tuviste.
prove that loss.
Wow.
So in case IRS asks you, okay, prove your loss,
So, si tú
your
pones
own.
que tuviste una pérdida
So
y te
Brother said,
pregunta
I don't-
por la
if you
prueba
come to my
y no la
office
tienes,
and asking me to do something so you can have more money, please, you can go.
Yeah.
por eso cuando vayas a hacer tus taxas, no presiones la persona que te ayude a obtener más dinero porque ella tiene que seguir las leyes porque ella se puede meter en problemas.
We might be talking about this like it is a small issue, but it is a critical issue in our
Yes,
community.
yes.
And I think we need to bring awareness to that.
Es algo bien importante que se den cuenta que tenemos que reportar las cosas como deben de ser.
It is difficult when you see people sometimes crying because tax preparers don't take a time to explain the contents of their 1040.
Sí, es difícil
So, talking
cuando ves a
about
personas que
this-
hasta lloran porque no les pueden explicar cómo están las cosas, de que quieren más dinero.
So talking about this, can a person can figure out from, I don't know, going on IRS websites or I don't know, with the paper the tax preparer give to them, can they figure out themselves that the tax preparer has put something in their taxes they don't supposed to? Sometimes people even said the tax preparer take money out of their money. So can somebody can find this out themselves, and how?
¿Hay
Yes.
alguna forma de que
To
ver
make
cómo
su-
si la persona hizo un error en las taxas?
Yes. First,
Sí,
you need
primero,
to see what is in the document that the tax preparer gave you.
ver
what
en el
is in that
documento qué
document?
es, ¿cuánto es en el documento?
If you don't understand it,
Si tú no entiendes,
ask for an explanation.
pide una explicación.
I've seen, on my end and my wife's end where she does taxes to people even
Yo lo he
outside
visto
Illinois,
con mi esposa,
that when she finished most of the time, she will send them a Zoom link. She will do a Zoom explanation. She'll post their taxes and walk through the explanation on every single thing that is on the package.
so, su esposa llena
That's
las
an
taxas
obligation
y
that
luego
she put on herself.
se pone una hoja con la explicación de
But-
por qué sale ese dinero, por qué se le rebajó.
But the person whose taxes is done to needs to ask.
Por eso las personas que están mandándose sus taxas necesitan preguntar
That's one.
por qué es más, por qué es menos.
Two, we usually tell people be careful when you go file taxes and somebody tell you, you don't need to pay me, I'll take the money out of the taxes myself. Be careful.
Ten cuidado cuando te dicen,
It's illegal also.
Yeah.
cuando te
Wow.
They don't
Teca-
have, they don't, the law does not allow them to take money from your
Yeah.
taxes.
Taxes.
So
That's
what they do is,
no
there is
está
an
permitido
example.
que agarres dinero de tus taxas.
We
It's
had
interesting.
we had a guy who came
Tenemos una persona que vino,
to do, we did an immigration document for him. He's at that stage where you have to provide the affidavit of support and all those things. He thought he made good money and that he's out of that poverty bracket, so he'll be able to sponsor his
él
spouse.
hizo un buen dinero y está arriba de la
Turn
línea de la
out,
pobreza.
not only did the person created a business for him so he could get a lot of money,
No solo la persona tenía un negocio para hacer más dinero,
his 1040 indicated that he's getting, I believe, around $7,000 from the federal government. But on his account, the money that was deposited on his account was $5,500. That means the tax preparer himself took more than 8,000
Yeah.
Wow.
so,
out of that person return.
la
Refund,
persona
I would
hizo un
say.
error y quitó
So
más de lo que
don't
quería hacer.
go to tax preparer. How much do I owe you? Pay that person and move on. So the money that he indicated on the paper that you are going to receive
Yes.
is what you receive.
Yes.
So, cuando te hacen las tasas, lo que
So
dice ahí
those
que
are
vas a
the two.
recibir,
Whenever
es lo
you
que vas a
get, so second thing is when you receive your deposit on your account, check with the 1040 to make sure that the
So,
amount are the
cuando te
same.
depositen el dinero en el banco, checa que sea lo mismo que te dijeron, que te dieron en tus
Because
papeles.
usually, if the government is the one that is changing the amount, they will send you a letter of explanation on
Porque hay
why they are
personas que
changing that
le han
amount.
Yes.
puesto más o le han
Once
puesto
you don't
menos.
receive a letter, that means somebody else took your money. So that's the
So,
way it works.
And the one trick they do all the time is they might file two 1040 for you.
Yeah.
One is bigger refund, and then one is small one. So they will send you the small one and send to IRS the bigger one.
Yeah.
So the way to find out is asking for your transcript.
Yeah.
So you go to IRS and
Website.
you ask for transcript of your taxes.
Uh-huh.
So the one they send to IRS is the one you're going to find out on the IRS website.
Website, yeah.
Sí, por eso cuando te llegue tu dinero tienes que estar seguro que es la misma cantidad que te depositaron en el banco, que no sea más, porque si es más te vas a ver en problemas, si es menos, pues también te ves en problemas.
So if the one you find in the IRS, the one you find on the IRS website is
It's the
a
truth.
true one. So if the amount there does not match with the one they send you, then you can call them.
Yeah.
And they
So-
say why there is a two different amounts.
Si la cantidad no macha, puedes hablar a la decir si te está pasando que mi dinero es menos.
So you go to IRS website
Yeah.
to find your Transcript.
Yeah.
So there you will see if your tax preparer has taken money from you or not.
So, también puedes ir a la computadora y pedir un transcrito para estar segura que la persona que te hizo las taxas no se quedó con una parte, o sea, tienes que verificar.
Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you for the explanation. Thank you very
Gracias por
much.
esa explicación.
So we were talking about do's and don'ts about taxes, and
Estamos hablando de lo que debes de hacer y lo que no debes de hacer.
we are saying that tax preparers too, there are things they shouldn't be doing also.
También las personas que preparan las taxas, hay cosas que no deben de hacer y las hacen.
Now still talking about taxes and filing status. We talking about married couples. Which status do you think it's
Explícanos
better?
los estados
Because it
civiles.
looks like married couples sometimes.
Las
Some people
personas
say
casadas,
there is a status that is better. See, we heard that if you guys have kids or the kids to go to college, you better file this status. So can you please talk to us a little bit about this?
¿puedes hablar acerca de los estados civiles?
Filing status is like brother just said, single, married,
Los
filed
estados
jointly.
civiles son
You
casado,
can be married, filed separately, or
divorciado
head of household.
o el jefe de la casa.
So if you are legally married,
Si estás casado,
filing jointly is the best because it's allow you to benefit from more credit.
so debes de hacerlos juntos porque te da más crédito.
If you marry and you decide to file separately,
Si estás casados y los haces separados,
you're going to lose more credit.
Vas
You
a
don't-
perder el
you don't
crédito.
benefit from credits that married file jointly benefit from.
que te da para
So that's
obtener
one.
más dinero.
Two, I see people who are married, legally married,
Yo he visto personas que están casados
you have kids,
y tienen niños
and who will file with one person, two kids,
y los
file
hacen
house-
separados
household,
con dos niños o uno
and
con tres
another
niños.
one took 5 kids, 5 household,
Se
household,
ponen como
household.
jefes de la casa.
That's wrong.
Eso está mal.
That's wrong. But I see people do that all the time.
Pero él ve siempre que pasan esas cosas.
If you without thinking about tomorrow, you're doing that.
Sí, no estás pensando acerca del
One day
mañana.
it's gonna catch up to you.
El gobierno te puede cachar.
Always do. So if you marry, legally married. If you're not legally married, you living with your girlfriend, you're not married, Okay.
Si no estás
No,
legalmente
very.
casado, sí puedes hacerlos separados, pero si estás legalmente
But
casado,
that
tienes que
also
hacerlos juntos.
have the law have some exception to that.
So, de esa forma te dan más chance de que obtengas más dinero.
So you wanna be careful also for if you're doing that kind of stuff.
Tienes que tener mucho cuidado con
So
Eso.
we try to be like give you the heads up. This video can end up in the IRS, you know. So we want to be truthful to you guys and don't do stuff that is not good.
Esto te dice que las mentiras no son buenas porque el IRS se puede dar cuenta.
But
Thank you, thank you. So what about you have said that if you are legal married, so filing jointly is the best one.
that's
What about somebody who is married and the husband or the wife is back in Africa or in another country, not here? So
¿Qué nos dice de una persona que está
In this
casado pero su
case,
esposo no está aquí? O está
what
en África?
status should they file?
in
¿Qué es
this
lo
case
que-
you
qué
file
estatus?
single
Single?
¿Cómo lo puedes
Yes.
llenar? Puedes llenarlo como,
because your wife or your husband doesn't live here.
If
como
they have
persona
kids,
que no estás
still
casado.
filing single?
They can live here.
Yeah, with
Then
them.
you can have them as dependent. File head of household. with the
Okay.
kid.
Si
But if your husband's not there, he's not here, you can file jointly.
Yeah.
Because he
Okay.
have to live in the United States for 12 months,
For 12 months.
So,
Okay.
or at least 6 months.
Si
That's
tu esposo no
awesome.
está aquí, tienes que
Sí, sí.
hacerlos como persona que no estás casada.
So the criteria to build up on what Brother William said,
Mm.
to file as a head of household, like the example that you just gave, somebody who's married, but assuming that the husband is in Benin, the wife lives here with 3 kids, for example.
Como él dice, una persona que está aquí y su esposo no
To
está,
file as a head of household, there are 3 criteria. The first one
tienes
is
que prepararlos como jefe de
you
la
are
casa.
either married as of December 31st, the end of the tax year, or you live separate from your husband at least for 6 months.
Pero tienes
That's
que
the first
estás casado,
The second criteria is
pero
You
vives
have-
solo.
provided more than 50%
Pero también tienes que demostrar
of the household needs during that year.
que estás aportando el 50%
And
de
the
los
last
gastos de la
criteria is you
persona
have dependents
que es tu
that you are
dependiente.
putting on those taxes. That's why I allow people to use that title as a head of household. So those 3 criteria have to be in place
Es lo que te permite
for you
reportarlo como
to
jefe de
file
la
as a head of
casa.
household.
Okay.
And the sport test is very important. I
Yes.
see people
Yeah.
who their kid live somewhere else and claim them like dependent.
Yeah.
You can't do that. The kid have to live with you
Mm-hmm.
and you have to support them.
So,
Right.
cuando tienes un niño, tienes que demostrar que el
So,
niño vive contigo, que lo estás
On your
manteniendo.
taxes, IRS can ask you for receipt of, let's say, water bills.
Porque si dices que si no está aquí y no lo estás
Or they can
manteniendo,
call the kids schools.
el
and say,
área
"Hey, this
el
kid,
área este te puede pedir una prueba
This kid is in your school. So all that this kind IRS can
y
way
tú no tienes
to
prueba
know
para
that
demostrar
they
que
live
tienes tu hijo
here. So
viviendo
be
contigo.
truthful, like we always say, be truthful.
La mejor manera es
If
decir la
the kid
verdad.
doesn't live to you, then it's not your dependent.
Si no vive contigo no es un
Yeah.
dependiente.
There is one, and in building up on that, there is one exception to that rule though.
Hay una
Usually
excepción para
they
esa regla.
consider the kids who are in college to be like temporary living out of the house.
Yeah.
That they consider them
La
temporary living out of
excepción
the
es
house.
cuando tu hijo
Okay.
vive,
And
no vive en tu casa porque está como en el colegio.
if your child is in college and you're still supporting that child,
sigues
like we traditionally
mantenerlo,
do,
Mhm.
then you can
You can
include
claim
that on. You can claim them on your
Lo
taxes.
puedes poner como
Okay.
So
dependiente.
we just want to make that clear so people understand that
Es
exception.
la única forma
Though
que
they are in
puede
college.
ser.
Although they are in college, yeah,
Only si está en la
but
escuela.
you're still providing for them,
Yeah.
and
En
being
estás
away from
proporcionando
being
vivir,
away from the house
lo estás
is
manteniendo
considered living,
aunque no esté en tu casa.
temporary out of
And
the
they
house
have to be a full
time.
time student.
Students. So yeah.
Pero tiene
Yeah.
que ser un estudiante de tiempo completo.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. So you have said the best filing status is filing
Jointly with your
filing
wife.
jointly
Yeah.
with your
Estás
wife,
diciendo que la
with your
mejor manera de
spouse.
llenar los
Yeah,
taxes
spouse.
es cuando una pareja está casada tiene que ponerlo.
Only if one of the spouse live like outside the United States. Or what about if one of the spouse live in another state, maybe one live
¿Qué
here
hacer que
in
si una
Illinois
persona
and
vive en
another one
diferente
lives
estado?
maybe in Georgia? Or
¿Cómo lo
Then
quiere
you
hacer?
decide which. It doesn't matter whether you live in the United States, you're married, you still live in the United States, whatever state you live in, but the tax preparer might choose the state who has maybe the less taxes.
Por ejemplo,
right. And
una
then
persona que
so-
vive en diferentes
yeah, they have to
estados,
do that.
Yes.
Right, that's good.
la persona
Yes.
que prepara las tasas tiene que decidir cuál es el estado que mejor le conviene llenar sus taxas.
If someone live in Illinois, someone live in California has
Si una
high
persona vive en
taxes.
Illinois, otra vive en
So
California,
I choose to file in Illinois. So
y
they have
yo decido
less taxes.
llenarlo,
than
mi
California.
aplicación
That's the
en
tax
Chicago.
preparer, job to decide which
es
state you wanna.
trabajo de las personas que hacen las taxas, decidir cuál es el mejor estado que debes llenar, hacer tus taxas.
Yeah, I heard that one too, that some states takes more taxes than some other. And I also
He visto que unos estados
heard that
quitan más tasas que otros.
before governments were taking more money, 75% even out of income. And it's a president that came and is like, no, that's
Antes
they have
te
to.
quitaban mucho más dinero.
So it's like before all the earning just go to the government and people they just have a little bit about what, but now the government is taking, I think it's the basic is 20 something percent, right?
It depends on bracket.
Yeah, I know it depends on bracket, but the smaller
Ahora ya
10%. Oh, it's
se quitaban más
10%.
dinero, ahora ya
Okay.
es menor, se me hace que es el 20%.
Okay, now let's talk about self-employees.
Vamos a hablar de las personas que tienen su...
We know we already talked about it a little bit, but right now many people are doing job aside their normal job,
Muchas personas
like
trabajan
DoorDash. So what advice you guys can
aparte de
give
tener un
to those
trabajo
people
regular.
right now so they don't have trouble with IRS?
¿Cuál es el consejo que nos das para que no se metan en problema con el IRS?
Being a self-employed is great in US.
Ser una persona que tiene tu propio empleado es algo...
Like every business, you have obligations.
Todos los negocios tienen obligaciones.
We usually advise people who are self-employed to pay their taxes quarterly.
Nosotros les damos un consejo a las personas que tienen un negocio que paguen cada 4 veces al año.
I'm going to tell this. If you live in Illinois, I'm just going to give you an example. As a self-employed, you have an obligation to 3 taxes.
Como persona de que tienes negocio, tienes la obligación de reponer tus taxas.
The first one that we call, which goes to the federal government, is what we call self-employed taxes.
El primero es que se llaman persona que tiene su negocio.
They are comprised of Social Security and Medicare.
Eso contribuye al Seguro Social y a la Medicare.
And I will give an example. Assuming that for 3 months, your net income is $1,000.
Asumiendo que el dinero ganas que son como, how much?
$1,000, for example.
1,000.
When your net income after you take your expenses.
Por ejemplo, son $1,000.
You have
después
to
de
pay
que pagues sus gastos,
15.3%
tienes que pagar el 15.5%
as self-employment tax.
como empleado dueño de
I think
un negocio.
12.4% goes to Social Security
El 12.5 va para el
and
Seguro Social.
2.9% goes to Medicare.
El 2.9 va para
That's the
el
first one.
Medicare.
Then you have to pay what we call federal income taxes
Eso es lo que podemos decir.
as the second one.
Pagarle las tasas al
Like
federal.
Brother William said, we advise people at least to pay 10%, especially if that's the lowest one.
So,
You make
damos
$1,000,
el consejo de pagar el
10%,
10%,
it is $100. Make sure you write the check and send it.
que es como $100.
The last one, which is the state income tax, because you live in
El
Illinois,
último es para el estado.
is 4.95% of your net income.
4.9 de lo que hiciste.
Those 3 things have to be in place. Otherwise, at the end of the year, if you go to Brother William or you come to me and we tell you, you owe money to the government,
Porque
Please
si no lo
don't start
hiciste,
crying.
si no lo
You know,
hiciste, tienes que darle cuando
Better
vayas
be
con la
prepared
persona que te prepara las taxas.
and pay your taxes quarterly so at the end of the year you know you are not going to be in trouble.
So, si pagas 4 veces al año, no vas a estar en problemas al final del año.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the explanation. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with
Gracias
us.
por compartir sus conocimientos.
So please, what advice can you give people watching us right now?
¿Cuál es el consejo que le dan a la gente?
Advice, choose a good tax preparer.
Mi consejo es que escojas una persona capacitada para que te haga los taxes.
Not everyone who do taxes know tax. Let me say that.
No todas las personas que hacen las
Not
taxas
everyone
conocen las
who
leyes.
do taxes know about taxes. Tax law is very vague, it change all the time.
Las
So,
leyes de
you
las
wanna be
taxas
sure
cambia seguro. No,
the
no
person
cualquier
who
persona
do
te
your
puede hacer las
taxes
taxas porque las
know
leyes
about
están
taxes.
cambiando.
And the next advice, like we already said, that be truthful.
El otro consejo es que seas,
in your taxes, be
que digas la
truthful.
verdad,
In your earning, be truthful. Don't hide
que
anything,
no escondas nada.
because it's going to come back about you. So
Porque
that's
esto
the
va a regresar de la ley y te puede
main
afectar.
advice I would give people. Taxes not something you mess up with.
Las taxas no es algo que tú puedes mentir o
Always,
hacerlo, alterar o
you
algo.
know, if you buy houses and you file wrong taxes, you can lose your house. Like that.
Porque
So,
si compras una casa y
please.
haces las taxas, tú puedes perder tu casa.
Be careful
Ten mucho
when
cuidado
you go to do your taxes.
cuando vayas a hacer tus taxas.
Trust your tax preparer.
Ten mucha
Tell
confianza en
everything
la persona
you know.
que hace
That's
tus
everything
taxas.
you earn.
Dile
And
toda
you'll
la
be
verdad.
fine. All right.
Thank you, William.
Gracias.
I will add, don't listen to what people tell you on the street that I will take you to this preparer because you are going to get a lot of money.
Otra cosa que yo aconsejo, no escuchen a la gente que te dice, ve con esta persona porque esta persona te va a dar más dinero.
People's circumstances are different.
Porque las circunstancias son diferentes.
We usually, as immigrants, we have a tendency that this is the place to get money and do things that we want to do.
Tenemos la tendencia de decirle a las personas que
Let's
acaban de
not
venir,
make the mistakes
le damos consejo equivocado y hacemos que haga un error.
that only is not going to impact us today,
Eso nos va a hacer un impacto en nuestra
but
vida.
also will impact us in the future.
No nomás ahorita, sino también en el futuro.
Honesty take you a long way.
La honestidad te lleva al tiempo futuro.
Lying get you quicker to the grave.
Mentir te
Quote
lleva
unquote.
That's wrong.
So let's make sure that we do things the right way.
So, ¿estás seguro de hacer las cosas como deben de ser?
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you very much, William Soglo. Thank you very much, George
Gracias.
Sunu, for sharing your knowledge with
Para
us
compartir sus
today.
conocimientos.
And thank you, Araceli, for allowing this program to reach more people. Thank you. And for you at home, thank you very much for watching.
Para
Please
ustedes, gracias por escucharnos.
remember to share,
Recuérdense
to
compartir,
like,
darle un like
and to subscribe to our
y
channel.
suscríbanse a nuestro canal.
And remember to go to our channel to watch more videos
Acuérdense de ir a nuestro canal para ver más videos.
that will help you to better integrate the American community.
Eso nos va a ayudar a confiarse a la comunidad como debe de ser.